That's not a comic book. Now that's a comic book.
Hi everyone, welcome to another episode of Comic Reviews. I got a pretty big week, so let's go ahead and get into it just in a second here. Sorry this is posted a day late, but the good news is you got the Geeky Gentleman fan film review yesterday on The Dalek That Time Forgot, so I hope you check that out. If not, it's right here for you to click on, and you can watch that. Should be back on normal schedule by next week, just had some stuff I had to deal with yesterday, but that was already recorded and edited, so I just posted it for you. Anyway, let's go ahead and start off with the last thing I read, which I picked up on the stands. This is Harley's Little Black Book, which has been a series that I haven't been reading, because I really don't like the direction they're taking Harley Quinn in lately. And the only reason I picked this up is because it has a crossover with the Bombshells. It's not really the Bombshells so much as it is just like an alternate version of the Bombshells, because characters that are dead are in different situations, are in very similar situations and alive, and just it's an alternate universe version of the Bombshells. And again, I really just do not like this Deadpool of the DC Universe approach to Harley Quinn. If you do, that's fine, good for you. I don't mind Harley Quinn being comic relief to a degree. I just find this just gets really annoying. It's like all the things I don't like about Deadpool in this book. And so yeah. Did I enjoy this though? It was kind of fun to see the whole Bombshell crew dealing with Harley Quinn, even though they have a Harley of their own, and they were still all written, competently. Not well, not bad, but just okay. Really, the highlight of this book is toward the end, when Harley Quinn is hitchhiking to get to this castle, and she gets picked up by Hitler, and then proceeds to, curse Hitler out and lecture him for being, for being Hitler. And then she tries to kill him. And then eventually he gets away for a sec, and then a couple pages later, she finds him in his bunker thingy, and she lectures him some more, and Hitler kills himself. And that's the end of the story. She gets back to her own time. It's an alternate timeline version of Bombshells. That was the highlight. So if that didn't sound like... Harley Quinn punching Hitler. I'm just down for anyone punching Hitler. I'm down for Hitler punching Hitler. I don't know. I didn't find it all that appealing. It certainly wasn't bad. It's just... It's exactly what this book has been. It's consistent with its own quality, and it's just not something I enjoy. I picked it up for the Bombshells. I'm glad it's not affecting the main Bombshell book. That's all I got. It feels like the Bombshells in this are written to be like what you would expect them to be from just the visuals, the statue. And that's not at all what the main book is. I will just use this opportunity to give my biggest complaint about Bombshells, and I think the cover here, really good quality cover though. Paper stock wise for those that care. The cover here kind of shows my biggest problem with the Bombshells book. And not really Bombshells itself, just one particular element of it. So we have the two Harleys, the main Little Black Book Harley and the Bombshells Harley on the cover. Do you know which is which? It's this Harley right here. But it's not a very significant difference. You compare that to the costume designs for all the other Bombshells. Barda and Kathy Kane look nothing like their mainline counterparts. Same with Zatanna and Catwoman and all of these other characters. That's not what they look like at all. It's a really unique and interesting take. There's certain shared elements, but it's fundamentally different. And has a retro look to it. Harley in this book just looks like Harley. With goggles. Like, in this particular issue, she's, like, supposed to be undercover as some kind of Nazi, interrogation expert. So she's got a different outfit on, and I like that more than what she's been wearing. But yeah, I don't like Harley's costume design in the Bombshells book. There's like a 5-page section of just a Harley Quinn dream sequence that is really bizarre. I mean, it was kind of fun, but it was just so out of nowhere that I didn't know how to react to it. Yeah, just generally, it's more of the same from this version of Harley, and it's more of the same stuff that I'm not liking. Meh. I don't know. If you like that version, you should like this. There's plenty to enjoy about this. It's competently written Bombshells, which is fine. Just kind of goes to show just how good the Bombshells book is, that you can write these characters just borderline, but the concept and everything is so strong that it works just fine. Yeah, that's all I got for this issue. Let's go ahead and move on to what is by far my favorite book this week, and I'm really surprised by that. This is Godzilla Rage Across Time. I didn't know what to expect with this. Again, I'm not a big, like, giant monster kaiju, that's the word. I'm not a big kaiju fan. Bill's a good friend. He's talked up Godzilla and that whole thing so much to me that I've grown to like it a little bit through him. But I still don't really care for a lot of the movies. This is the same reason that I picked up Kong of Skull Island, which I'm very much enjoying. And I saw this on the stands and was like, oh, Godzilla Rage Across Time, maybe it'll be like a Life of Godzilla thing or something. Maybe. Kind of hard to tell from this first issue. The story is just okay. It certainly grabbed my attention, and I found it interesting. But the reason I picked up this book, or the reason I like this book as much as I do, is the art. Like, goddamn, this has some really, really cool art. And what I like about the art is we have a story set in feudal Japan, and so the art style looks like old school Japanese art. This is a fucking poster right here, right? Like, just looking at the detail, particularly around the fire coming out of Godzilla's mouth, that's what they drew dragons like. And you look at the people in the... Oh, here's a better panel of Godzilla's, like, mouth close up so you get a better look at the fire. The people, too. The people look like how they used to draw how the Japanese used to draw themselves back in the day. I'm trying to find, like, a really good close-up panel of them. Yeah, this is a good example here. It's just a couple pages in. And this is the main art that you see throughout the book. Now, there's a through story in which archaeologists, rather, are looking up are looking into the history of Japan, of certain events, and this will be our through line to connect all these stories, and connecting it to Godzilla and the other monsters of Earth. And so there is a very drastic shift in art style to get those two, and I was really worried that it would feel very disjointed going back and forth between them. But luckily, we only go back to them one more time, and it's right at the end of the book. So I was really, really impressed with this. It was just a really cool idea for a series. And we only go back to them for one panel, don't we? Yeah. Yeah. They only get one page and one panel, so that's pretty good. I imagine we'll get more of them throughout. But no, I really, really like what, what's his name? Matt Frank is doing with the art here. To try to make it look like ancient, or like feudal Japanese art is really cool. I really, really enjoy that about this. It's such a neat idea to reimagine it in that way. And then the next issue is Fall of the Gods. And we have an ancient Greece looking thing. We got like a guy who looks like Zeus throwing a lightning bolt at Godzilla. And so I'm really curious to see where this goes. So yes, this is getting on my list. I'm really quite excited to keep reading this. Like, seriously, I'm not even a Godzilla guy, and this is just really neat. I'm a history guy. That's what I'm so nerdy out about this. I really hope that if Frank's gonna be on this book throughout, I really hope he keeps up with the art style matching the general look of the era of art that they're talking about. So if we get like, it'd be weird to see because the Greeks had very poor conceptions of depth, but maybe it'll work. Not that they had no conception, the Greeks were not very imaginative, so I don't know if I want to see that, but I'll be curious what we see. I honestly wish I'd gotten a different cover for this, because I really like the other two colors. We have the subscription cover by Matt Frank and the retailer incentive by James Biggie. I really like the subscription cover by Frank too, but I really also enjoy the James Biggie cover, because that just, once again, it looks like ancient Japanese art, or feudal Japanese art. But yeah, really cool book. I really enjoyed this, and I'm excited to see where it goes. Let's go ahead and move on to Wonder Woman number 5. And we're continuing the Lies story arc. And once again, it's not bad. It's just like really set up-y. I'm just trying to remember what happened the last time we dealt with this, since it's been 2 issues now. It's not bad by any means. It's just another issue. Not a lot happens in the issue. Wonder Woman and Steve Trevor are now in the same area. It's just kind of like, okay, this is a story that is continuing on. Don't love it by any means. Don't hate it. Don't think it's bad or anything like that. It's just the story continues. We're setting things up. We'll see where it goes. That's it. Art looks pretty good. The art of the Lies story arc looks a lot better than the art of the Origin story arc, whatever. That's weird. Why is Wonder Woman... This looks like unfinished pencils on the cover. If you look at her skin, you'll see like a crisscross pattern. Looks like they didn't finish penciling her right. Whatever. Yeah, I just like the art, aside from the cover, of this story arc a lot better. Cheetah's just a really unique character design for Cheetah. Those eyes looked amazing in that one issue. I really just don't have that much to say. I like that Wonder Woman's not wearing the cape. Like, I really like skirt Wonder Woman more than bathing suit Wonder Woman. And so it's nice to see that she's not wearing the cape with this outfit right now. I hope that continues. The art is a little inconsistent from panel to panel. These look like 3 completely different people, and they're all drawings of Wonder Woman. This full page spread, really cool, really gorgeous. Look at Wonder Woman's face. Alright? You see her face. Okay. This next page, admittedly not a close-up. Look at Wonder Woman's face. Okay. Final panel on this page. Close up. Look at Wonder Woman's face. Now what's really distracting about that is we go from curly hair to straight hair with a little curl to pretty much just straight hair. And the face just looks different. Her lips change color almost in the second panel. Does not look good. So even though I like the art, it looks like they're having trouble keeping it of consistent quality in character designs panel to panel. And that's not a good sign. Also, is it just me, or does this picture Steve Trevor's carrying around of Wonder Woman look like Linda Carter? Maybe that's just me. I don't know. Yeah, again, this is going to be my whole thing this week. It's not bad, it's just, alright. Another comic book, pretty average book. Meh. Weird Detective number 3. Again, not bad, not great. Didn't love it. Doesn't have quite as much humor. It's a much more action-heavy issue. Just a lot of action is happening over the pages. Couple jokes here and there. Nothing really funny, though. Other than that made me giggle or laugh out loud. Just really action-heavy book again. The stuff with the cat in the first couple pages is pretty good. And then their boss gives like a speech that was kind of funny. Otherwise, we're just setting stuff up for the next story arc or down the road or whatever. We'll see. They're actually doing, police work in that they're looking for leads, and going, door knocking and stuff. So once again, it actually reads like a detective story. I don't have a ton to say about it. And once again, that's a lot this week. It wasn't a bad week, just kind of, as the cat puts it, not sure what I thought was going to happen, but that was anticlimactic. I didn't know what I was going to expect from my books this week when I got them, but I didn't think, alright, would be my overall reaction to everything, with the exception of Godzilla. And it's disappointing, because this is the first time that I haven't loved this book. Renato Jones, The 1%. Oh, issue number 4 here. We'll get some background on Renato. Care is doing some interesting changes in how the art's being done in certain settings. He does a flashback issue, and for that flashback he does the what do you call that when it's like pointed, when it's little points for color. It's a really classic look for comics. Those little colored dots to get the shading, you know what I'm talking about? That'd be easier on another page without so much white. Yeah, if you really look close at it, you see those dots to get the coloring. Yeah, it's doing that for a flashback. So it's possible that's what he's going for, is a, like, changing the color style to match, or changing the color style for flashback. And then we get some blackout panels. We get a couple pages of that, and that was a little like, oh, well, okay. And that isn't done in the point style, but it's black and white now, which is, I guess, pick one, Care. And then we're just setting up for the next story. Some more Trump criticism, which is always fun. I wouldn't vote for this guy, for this particular version of Donald Trump, but I would have more respect for him. Because this particular version of Donald Trump just admits that he's trying to capitalize off people's hatred and fears. That's not what Donald Trump does. Donald Trump just tries to bullshit, and I don't like bullshit artists. Even though I'm a philosophy major. So yeah, I just... It's a weird thing. I honestly like people who are openly bigoted. More so than I do people who are bigots, but try to hide that behind like this screen of, oh no, I'm not a racist, I just think that. I honestly like people who are just openly, yeah, fuck niggers, than people who try to hide their racism or bigotry or what have you. At least one person's being honest with you about their fucked up view in the world. The other person is trying to get you to like them even though they have a fucked up view of the world and they don't just feel like admitting it. So that's why I tend to like that. So I guess I would like this particular version of Donald Trump more. Maybe that's just me. Maybe I'm alone in that one. Oh well. Alright, final single issue of the week is Captain America Steve Rogers, number 4. So this says Civil War II on it, and it hints at some stuff related to that. It's definitely... it's structured in such a way that you can buy that they are able... That Steve Rogers is able to get away with some of the stuff he's doing because Civil War II is happening right now. But at the same time, what is shown on the cover is not at all what is happening in the book. So don't let that it presents itself as a tie-in dissuade you from it in any way. But again, this is just an okay issue as we get more stuff, more wheels moving. I'm a little tiny bit disappointed that it's like as current as it is. Like there's very much a sense that this book might not work as well a couple months from now once the election is over. Or it might work incredibly well and we'll look at it and be like, why the fuck didn't we pay attention? But that being said, it's still just a little too current when you have a character sitting here talking about how good the show The Blacklist is and how he's heard good things about the comedy show Kimmy Schmidt. That's a little too current. Like, I prefer, if you're going to reference pop culture, you do it in such a way that it doesn't feel 100% like it can only be for this one particular moment, but this kind of does. But yeah, we just have a lot of like, okay, we're setting this element up, we're setting that element up. Apparently Kubik joined up with Bucky. I don't know when that happened. There's some other stuff going on. I just don't know what's happening. And I have to assume that this is just, Marvel Universe stuff's just going on right now. And it's tying in with all that. And it's not so alienating that it's distracting. I'm not so far removed from main Marvel stuff that I can't glean some idea of what's going on. It's just more of it than I would normally prefer. And again, it's just using all these different elements to set itself up to keep telling its story and make its gravity, make its importance known. Not Nick Spencer's best work, but it's not the worst thing out there by any stretch of the imagination. I'm confident the story will pick up again and keep getting better and better. But yeah. Just a, filler issue, more or less. Okay, let's finish up this week by talking about our trade, which is Green Lantern Wanted, Hal Jordan. You know, when I think back on how much I enjoy about the Jeff Johns run on Green Lantern, a lot of it is not the early stuff. Not that the early stuff is bad. It just certainly gets a lot better as it continues on. And again, this isn't bad. It's just a lot of, like, current of the time DC Universe stuff is happening. And I'm enjoying the stuff that he's setting up for his own book a lot more than the stuff he's doing to tie in with other shit that was going on. Even if it was his own shit. Have some cool Justice League moments here that get involved with this. Alan Scott shows up, and I could just never respect Alan Scott. Monster's story is kind of interesting here, but not, like, captivating. The arc from this that I really, really enjoy is the one that has the bad art, because the Al-Mansur story arc here, as touching as it is for Hal, I do like this moment at the end of that story arc quite a bit. As touching as all that is, what's really good is the Zamaron arc, and that has kind of, not bad art, it's just, it doesn't fit for this. They really need something more dreamlike for this. And we get something that's very, it looks very painted, and I just don't like that as much for the style of story that Green Lantern's been in this run. Like, it's not bad. I shouldn't have said bad art, because this isn't a bad piece. It's just, it doesn't really work with everything else that's been going on. So, like, the Amon Sur stuff, it's good. It's set up. It's got its moments. I certainly enjoy stuff about it. Hal's character remains the strongest thing. But what I really like is this Zamaron story as we set up more of the other cores. And just, we could see Hal be a little bit on the clever side, and that was fun. Again, I just don't have a ton to say this week. There's some stuff that's cool. There's some stuff that's just okay. There's nothing bad. I really like this moment, though, where the Zamarons show up and they're trying to figure out who the crystal needs to go to in order to trap Hal. And alright. So the crystal's got both Carol and Cowgirl basically held hostage. Choose your mate, Hal Jordan. I will make your fantasies come true. Carol Ferris, you shared the worst and the best moments of your life with her. Julian Perlman, Cowgirl. She lets you fly free from the past. Choose, Hal Jordan. Choose someone? Okay. Mwah. Just grabs the Zamaron Queen and kisses her. Come here, gorgeous. Makes out with her. What are you doing, guardian dog? Try not to throw up. He has chosen neither of you. He has chosen you, my queen, someone of great power to add to mine. And so the crystal attaches itself to the Zamaron Queen. And that's just how Hal Jordan gets out of the situation. I really like that. That's really fun. Hal Jordan's pretty clever, thinks on his feet. Comes up with some great stuff. The man is a master of improv. Yeah. It's not a bad book. If there's any part of the run that's skippable, it maybe be this. It might be this. It might be this. But at the same time, I wouldn't recommend it. It's still a fun read. It's just there's not that much to say about it. The Yaman Sur story arc is cool, but I don't have anything bad to say about it other than there's a lot of what was going on in the DC Universe stuff happening in that, and so if you're unfamiliar with that, it might take you out a bit, but at the same time, I feel like they do a pretty good job of explaining it. And then the Zamaron stuff is just kind of cool, clever, fun. What continues to be the best is Hal Jordan's character. I'm sorry, I wish I had more to say. I know this episode's only half an hour and it's a day late. What do you want? It's the best thing that's not the best thing ever. I don't know, guys. I'm sorry. I try to to come up with stuff to say, but sometimes you just don't have anything to say, and if you try to force yourself to, you just come up with complaints, and I don't really feel like complaining about the book. Sorry. My store did not get in issue number 1 of Supremacy of the Cybermen yet. I really hope they do. I might have to go looking around at other stores to get it, though. So we'll see what happens with that. But that'll do it for this week's episode of Comic Reviews. I hope you enjoyed. Please do check out the Dalek That Time Forgot fan film review on Geeky Gentleman. And since I didn't get a chance to announce it last week because I forgot, this week's episode of Geeky Gentleman will be on superheroes and environmentalism.